So this is what a morning routine with 3 Huskies looks like. So normally, one of the dogs wakes us up before any alarm goes off. Usually it's Shelby, who then usually goes and wakes up Oakley, and she comes and wakes us up so we don't think it was Shelby, but not always. Sometimes it's just Shelby that comes to wake us up. So once everybody's awake, of course, it's time to go outside, which you'd think would be a pretty easy thing to do. But sometimes Shelby decides she doesn't want to go outside. She just wanted to wake everybody up, and she decides she's going to go back to bed. I usually let at least Memphis and Oakley out, and then I'll sit at the dining room table and watch them while they wander around the yard and do their thing. I also have to try to convince Shelby that she really should go outside instead of trying to run back to bed. Normally, she still takes off down the hallway and ends up going back to bed. I mean, she looks pretty dang comfortable, don't you think? After quite a bit of convincing, Shelby usually goes outside and joins the others, at least for a little bit. Once they come back inside, it's time for a treat, because in this house you can't go outside without getting a treat when you come back in. So everybody gets a treat, and then we get ready to start the next part of our morning routine. Time for the cycle of walks. So the first dog to go on a walk, of course, is Miss Fluffy Butt Oakley. Seniority rules, right? The funniest part is we can barely leave the house without Memphis going crazy in the window. She doesn't realize yet that she is going to get a turn. So I usually walk Oakley for a little bit more than a half a mile, basically just around a couple blocks here in our neighborhood. We trot at whatever speed she wants to go at, whether she wants to go fast or slow or whatever. She wants to stop and sniff things, we just kind of let her do that. Let her go at her own pace. She really does enjoy going for these short little walks. And on this walk, neighbor cat friend was out, but Oakley didn't actually see her because she didn't move. After our short little trot around the neighborhood, it's time to head home and walk the next dog. And next in line is Miss Diva Shelby, and as you can tell here, she is protesting and letting me know that she should have been first for today's walk. She usually goes second. She totally knows this. And of course, Memphis is staring at us as we walk away. Don't worry, Memphis, you're gonna get your turn as well. Shelby trots at a much faster pace than Oakley. I choose to walk all 3 dogs separately because they actually walk better alone, and we just do short little walks because it is summertime here and it is getting a little warmer out. Today was a little bit gloomy and overcast, but it was still actually a little bit humid. So as we rounded the corner to where the neighbor cat was when we walked Oakley, she was still there in the same spot, and Shelby, unlike Oakley, definitely saw her. I think they kind of had a conversation without really saying anything. Thankfully, Shelby was really good when she saw this cat this time, and we just kind of kept on walking. So not only did Shelby get to see the neighbor cat, she also got to see Squirrel Friend, who was hanging out in the neighbor's yard. And again, thankfully, she didn't make a bunch of crazy noises. She just kind of watched him as he ran through their yard. So we get back home, and Memphis is still staring out the window, but this time it's actually her turn to go for a walk.
Is it your turn?
I think we'll give Memphis a moment to let you know what she thinks about going for a walk. The wait was worth it, Memphis. It's your turn to go for a walk. So Memphis does pretty good when she walks by herself. As I said, totally easier to walk the dogs each alone. Memphis is a much faster walker than the other 2 dogs, which is kind of funny. She is constantly looking for any of our neighbors that are out walking to give her pets, any of the neighbor dogs that are out so that she can say hi to them. She's always looking for Squirrel Friend, and her favorite house in the whole neighborhood is what I call the Cat Lady's house. Can you see why we call it the Cat Lady's house? There's usually anywhere between, the most I've ever counted was 10, but the least I ever see is like 2 or 3. So between 2 and 3 to 10 cats sit out in front of the Cat Lady's house, and it's Memphis's favorite house to walk by every time we go for a walk. She definitely struts her stuff around the neighborhood. This time though, neighbor cat by the tree wasn't there when we walked by. So it's time to take Memphis home so all the girls can have breakfast.
Are you hungry? Are you ready for breakfast? How about you? Ready for breakfast? Alright, let's do it.
So now that all the walks are in, it is time for breakfast. And in case you don't know, our dogs actually eat 3 times a day, mainly because of Oakley's history with bloat. They get a half a cup of food at each feeding. I also add some things to their food. We usually add some turmeric, which they're like an anti-inflammatory supplement that goes on their food, and we also put plaque off on their food to help with their teeth. If you're wondering what they eat Wellness Core Raw Rev, which is a kibble with dehydrated raw in it as well, and then I also add a little bit more dehydrated raw on top of it. And then sometimes they get cheese, because sometimes they're picky, and if you sprinkle just a little bit of cheese on it, they'll eat it. I actually think they would eat it without it, but I think it's just a condition thing that I've been doing it for so long, so they just want it.
Turn around. Turn around. Sit. Jump. Sit.
And then, of course, after they're done eating, it's time to go back outside one more time. And, of course, when you come back in from outside, you have to get a treat again, one for everybody. And then they usually fall asleep. Literally. They have full bellies, they're happy because they got to walk, and they usually just lay down and take their mid-morning nap.
Well, alright, you guys. There you have it. Our morning routine. You guys have been asking us to do this for a long time, so we thought we would. Do you want to see other parts of the day? Would you guys like to see a full day in the life? And if so, would you want me to do one per dog or one of all the dogs together? Or both? Let us know down in the comments below. Alright, you guys, as always, if you are new to this channel and you like what you saw, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends to help us continue to grow the audience as always. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay positive, dream big, and we will see you again soon. Oh, and before I forget, there's a link up above in the cards and down in the video description below. We released a new shirt in the merch store with Shiloh on it. So if you guys want to check that out, there's a link above and down below. Goodbye, guys.